Prepare to verify destruct sequence code 1.
All right, Talking Dicks, special event, special podcast, vlogcast, whatever you want to call it. I'm Al Romas, that's Al Ducharme, Studio City. And our guest today, familiar face to anybody who grew up or lived on Long Island in New York and was a big comedy fan. If you saw comedy in the, I guess, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, even up to current day, you know our guest. He's Richie Minervini.
Richie! Welcome.
Yo,
Richie
nice
Minervini, yes.
Welcome to Talking Dicks.
Richie, who, of course, had the East Side comedy.
Well, you know, it's funny you should say that, Al. And Al.
L1 or L2?
Because, although I've been Richie Minervini for a long time, I was talking to Al too. I was actually a dick from the time I was born to the time I went to college, as my father was a Richie, and my mom didn't want two Richies in the house, and my father didn't want two Dicks. So I was known as Dickie Minervini my whole life. So I'm just a talking dick, just like you guys.
Wow. Well,
Did not know that.
We could always use another.
All right, Dickie. Let's
always use another dick around here.
Yeah.
You sound like my sister.
Hey now.
Hey,
Going blue.
Hey
Going blue
now.
out the gate. Hey now.
That's his go-to saying. Hey now.
now.
We're gonna.
Larry
Hey,
Sanders.
Dickie. What? I'm interested in the little of the history. What year did you open East Side Comedy Club? When would that have? What year would that be? Do you remember?
1979, November 1979. As Jackie Martling states, the first paying comedy club in the country. There was a showcase club, including Catch Rising Star, Dangerfields, Improv, Comic Strip, and then on the West Coast they had Ice House. No, maybe not Ice House. The Improv and the Comedy Store.
Mm-hmm.
So East Side Comedy goes down in history as the first paying comedy club in the country.
Wow. Were you going up as a comic? Were you in the city at that time? Were you trying to become a comic? And then thought, I will open a club myself? And
I was a realtor, and I'm looking at $8 to get into the comic strip. We got, I think, a hamburger and a beer, and I'm looking and counting that door, going, "Wow, where's this extra money going? It should be for the entertainment." And
it's called the cover charge. The cover charge was invented to pay for the entertainment, right?
Exactly, and I knew that. I was a business major. So I started doing these one-nighters around Long Island on the worst nights, Sunday nights, Monday nights, and we were selling out. So
who were the comics at that point? Who were you working with?
Well, there was the original 7 was Jackie Martling, myself, Bobby Nelson, Bobby Woods, Rob Bartlett, some kid named Eddie Murphy, and
wow.
And I think Peter Bales came right after that. So
Peter Bales, yeah.
And David Hawthorne. Who was in a group called Three's Company with the Al Finelli, not a big name, and Billy Crystal was the star.
Wow.
And Murphy would be what at this, like 16, 17?
16 and a half, 17. I think we met him when he was a junior in high school. And then we would go out to bar. A show would be me, Hawthorne, Woods, Martling, Murphy. So we'd drive upstate and we'd be drinking, and Eddie'd be going, "I got school tomorrow. I got to be at the bus stop at 7." So we just sent it. We sent him to the car to go to sleep, and we drive him up. We drop him off at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
Story.
And so the club, you open up East Side, and at that point, who do you remember? I was interested in this too. Who were the first comics on stage at East Side? What was that? First weekend.
I wanted to put on an hour and a half show.
Right.
So today that's usually 3 comics. It took us about 9 comics to have an hour and a half show. And I think Jerry Seinfeld, it was all the other guys I just mentioned, the Magnificent 7, and Jerry Seinfeld headlined, and he had about 9 minutes. I begrudgingly gave $10 to Paul Reiser because he had a really hard. I didn't want to break his heart. I let him come in the next night too. But boy, that was a tough $10 to give away. It was horrible.
And yeah, I mean, well, Word was out at that point. There's this club on Long Island now. You can go and work there. So you must have had the pick of everybody, really. I mean, yeah.
So the real grand opening was the next week, and I was friends with Jackie Mason, and he comes into the show, and he wanted, I think, $8,000. Okay, well, I charged $10 to get in, and we had 125 seats.
Yeah.
And he's going, how the hell do you pay me $10,000? No, I got your money. So we're in the office. He goes, $10 a seat. You don't have my money. I got your money. I got your money. My staff is banging on my door. Hey, man, we want a paycheck. We've been working here for 3 weeks. And they're banging on the door. He goes, why don't you give them the money so they don't kill you? And I'll come back some other time and get the money. But next time you have me here, charge $25.
You were a business major, huh, Rich?
Now, how many shows was that? How many shows was that?
He did 3 shows, one on Friday, 2 on Saturday.
Right. Okay.
Didn't take any money. He came back the next year. He refused to take the money from the year before, and we had it.
Right.
So we charged $25.
This was before he kind of hit it big again. Remember, he was kind of...
He did the Honda commercial. No, when you turn this way, the wheels go that way. But when you're going right, they go left. No?
When you go up, you go down.
But,
when you go sideways,
yeah.
I got enough money. Yeah.
Richie's with me. See, Al, look at me. I'll just stop.
But he had broad...
Go ahead.
No, I heard. Yeah, it was good. Good impression. But this is before he was on Broadway and his career.
Way before that.
Again. Yeah.
Way before that. I mean, still a popular act. He'd go down to Florida and work in Miami at a hotel called the Colonial Inn. I was with him for about a year. He'd work like 6 months, then take off for 6 months and go back. And
you were with him what? You were working with him? You were like opening or?
Well, yeah, I would drive his limo and open his door. And then after the last 4 months, he let me go on stage for like 15 minutes every night.
Wow.
And I'll never forget the advice he told me one night. He said, that last joke you closed with was mine. Don't do that.
Now, was it his or did he take it from you?
No, it was his.
Okay.
It was his. It wasn't in his act. He used to say at the diner all the time.
Oh, I got you.
But he didn't know it was funny. He didn't know it was funny until he heard me say it on stage.
Gotcha.
So,
by the way,
and then
that's mine.
So what would you consider then? Are we talking like mid-80s? What were the big years for East Side Comedy Club? What are we?
Well, here's the beautiful thing. Since we started comedy, no one ever saw a guy stand up on stage with a microphone. So we were the greatest comics our first year, our first 3 months. Like, look at these guys on stage talking. So it's the next generation that came by in 83, 84. They had to compare themselves to Martling, Murphy, Minervini, Reiser, Seinfeld. So these guys aren't as funny as the other guys. And then by 85, Comedy Central came around. Showtime had a comedy show. Now they wanted to see the guys they saw on TV, the Don Myreras and the Bobby Slaytons, the Robert Walls. And that's when, they got agents and all of a sudden there was more money. Now you couldn't charge $10 a door. You had to charge more.
And you were booking the club yourself, or did you have an agent booking it? Were you doing it all yourself?
I did it myself. I mean, I was the MC, and this way, then when I wasn't funny, I bring up somebody.
Right.
I used to bring up a lot of guys.
Right, but were you booking the club because you're a full-time comic? Were you booking it up till a point and then I'm not going to do this anymore and hand it over?
I didn't actually want to deal on a business level with my friends and the other comedians.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So Tom and Genio from Omnipop came in, but I didn't let him do anything that I didn't approve of. And the deal was, don't say anything about me being involved. So my friends go, why can't I play your club? I go, you got to talk to Omnipop. He books it. I talked to Tom. He said, I can't get on. I go, well, I'm not going to argue with Tom.
Right.
Every time I come there, what about this guy? I go, not a chance. No.
Yeah, but yeah, because you had the Borgata a few years ago. You were booking the Borgata, and again, you were in that same situation of, every comic asking you for work, and what do you do if you like the guy but you don't like his act, and
Well,
how does that
I tell you what, I gave a lot of guys a shot, and there was pretty strict rules at the Borgata. My rules are pretty strict at my club too, but if the people at the Borgata said, "Listen, we don't want this guy here anymore," I said, "Listen, we got the rules. You got the riot act. Don't go over your time. The first two guys can't curse. We're saving that for the third guy. Don't do this. Don't do that. You busted every rule with the Borgata. I'm not risking my job for you. We're grown. We were 50 years old by that time. Actually, some of us a little older, like me.
But it's amazing how they're really very simple rules.
But the casinos are more strict than the regular comedy club, though. There's a time they don't want the shows to go a certain time because they're not gambling. The audience isn't gambling, and that's where their real revenue is. Is that still accurate?
The guy told me I was $13,000 a minute. I was costing the casino for going over 10 minutes.
Right.
You owe me $130,000. I go, what? Wow. You kept 1,000 people in this room for 10 minutes. Don't ever do that again.
Well, I love that. I love that room. I love that clock counting down. It's the best way. I loved it. And when you're done, you're done. Get off. It's great. Right. How many years did you book the Borgata?
3.5.
3.5 years? Okay.
I'll tell you a great story. I was opening up for Kevin James for a while.
Who? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
A guy in Long Island who used to open for me.
Fat
Kevin
okay.
James.
Okay.
He opened for me for a couple of years. So I'm opening for him now, and I'm on the road. And, great audiences all over. And he's yelling at me. I did 3 minutes extra, 4 minutes extra. And he goes, "Hey, Jeff, can I dock Richie's pay?" He keeps going over. I go, "I gave you a 2-minute intro. You got 20 minutes. First it was 25, then 20, including the intro." So we were on tour. I'm getting good money. I don't know, like $2,500 a show with some bonuses in. And we're on the road. We're in a bus. It's probably 6 weeks. And he's on the bus before the show. He goes, "Listen, I swear to God." Oh, he started making fun of me. He goes, "Ever since I said I was going to dock you $1,000 a minute if you went over, you haven't gone over in 3 weeks. All of a sudden now, now you're able to do the time correctly."
Right.
So I'm on stage at the Mirage in Las Vegas. I guess it might be a 20-second show. And I'm on stage and I'm just crushing it. I'm looking at my countdown clock. We're just starting to count up again. I'm over about 5 minutes. And Kevin's like, hey. I said, "Oh, yeah?" He goes, "Go off the stage." I went, "Ladies and gentlemen, I've been working with Kevin James now for a couple of years. On the road, I'm getting $2,500 a show. He kept yelling at me about getting off the stage. But I got $60,000 in the bank right now, and you're the greatest crowd in the world. I can afford $1,000 a minute." I'm saying. So they're cheering. I said, I'm going an extra 25 minutes. I'm here. I'm with you. So I probably ran into about $7,000 extra in penalties. And I'm telling the crowd, he's going. I'm at $5,000. And I bring him out. And as they bring him out, he punches me in the shoulder. I'm waving to the crowd. I'm not even looking. He spins me around and about floors me. The crowd starts booing him. I go up the stage and go, "Hey, how about another hand for Richie Minervini?" I come out. He goes, "Hey, man, you got to help me out here. Listen to my ear. They hate me." I go, "Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is a little bit we do every night." I said, "I'm also a stunt man. He pretends to punch me, and I pretend to get knocked down." I said, "Hey, how am I? I'm a pretty good stunt man, aren't I?" They, "Woo! Give it up, my pal Kevin." I go, "You're not finding me. Otherwise, I'm telling them the truth." All right. We're good. We're good.
That's great. It's great.
Now where are
you?
Penalty.
I wanted to ask you about you were in Mall Cop 2. Yeah.
Mall Cop 1 and Mall Cop 2.
Both. I'm sorry.
I played two different characters, and nobody noticed, Al. Yeah.
So what was that like?
No one said, "Hey, wait a minute. That guy was a bank manager in the first movie, and now he was an arms dealer." Yeah. Nobody ever brought that up to my attention. Yeah.
Well, we were just talking about that Henry Morgan played General Steele on one episode and got a nomination for an Emmy, and then he came back the following season and played the lead as Colonel Potter. So it's a similar situation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Very similar, except he won an Emmy and had a career on MASH. But other than that, very similar.
I had an enema to lose weight for my role, so that's kind of similar.
So how was that?
And you're now down here. You're now down living in Florida.
Living in Florida and Fort Lauderdale to be close to the cruise lines, but I decided to move up to the country in Fort Pierce.
Fort Pierce. I don't even know where this Fort Pierce is, man.
It's in between, where Port St. Lucie, Vero Beach, right there.
Okay. Hey, what year did you start doing cruises? Speaking of ships, what year did you begin?
Well, naturally, I refused to do them when they offered them to me.
Yeah.
Who wanted to go on a ship? I could be confined on a ship. I think I did my first ship in like 82 or 83. Over the next couple of years, I just do 2 or 3 a year. I was fired 6 or 7 times from the cruise ships for various. Yeah, usually it's
I can't imagine.
Harassing hecklers.
Yeah, well, yeah. But what happened was, because I had the club and I worked a lot at the club, they always knew I was available. So if somebody else got sick and they needed to fill in, they would hire me back.
See, you had you had backup. You had a comedy club, so you didn't give a shit. You didn't care what people said.
Yeah.
You did what you wanted to do. Whereas if you didn't have the club, would you have been like me and kiss everybody's ass? Make sure you had that gig. Make sure.
Well, I was just talking to somebody about Larry. Yeah, this is the beauty. Well, we were at Catch a Rising Star. We were kissing the owner's ass, kissing the audience's ass, and Larry David was used by Rick Newman to clear the room because Larry didn't care about anything. So Rick Newman would go, the show's running late. We got another crowd coming in. Is Larry David around? Put him on. And he'd go up and do a joke. And if he didn't get a laugh, he'd go, are you the stupidest people in the world? The most simplest setup and premise and punchline? Why am I talking to you about premises? You don't know about a premise. You don't know about a punch. You're a bunch of drunk idiots. And then they would get up and they would leave. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So what was you on Royal Caribbean in the 80s? What would
Norwegian. I think I did Norwegian for about 18 years or 12 years before I did another ship.
Wow. Did you bring the red jacket? Richie wears a red jacket on
I heard about the famous red jacket.
Yeah, it's tremendous. Tremendous
jacket.
Hey,
gentlemen.
It's red.
I was in Bahamas. I went to a fine men's store and I said, wow, you know what? That jacket looks sharp. I paid more money than I should have, according to Al. But I really liked it. I had it hemmed on the ship, and I'm going to wear it my first time with Al. Al, he tortured me about the red jacket, and now
this is very red. It was nice.
So you were like the little girl in Schindler's List. Everything was black and white except
everything was.
Girl with the red jacket.
That's how it looked. Yeah.
So even now, when I want to wear the jacket on a gig, I take I take the red one and another one, and I put the red one on in the back room, and if I'm thinking about Al, I take it off and put the black jacket on.
That's good. I like to be thought of either way, no matter what.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I have to feel really confident to wear that red jacket.
Well, that jacket's making a statement, man. That jacket's like, you got to be funny in that jacket. You can't bomb or have a so-so show in a red jacket.
Well, it gives you.
I put the jacket on before I go on stage. My thought usually is, F Al, I'm wearing this.
So
that's the same thought I have before I go.
But it must boost your confidence level if you're putting it on. You must say, like, I can take on the world right now. I have my red jacket.
Red jacket.
Well, there's a couple of guys that will wear the loud jacket. Tom Cotter, he wears also out of the Boston. It would be Johnny Peasy. He works up there.
Johnny Peasy's got a great selection.
Now there's the New Jersey Johnny Peasy and then the Boston Johnny Peasy.
Sure.
And they both wear wild jackets.
Right.
That's right. Yeah, but only one wears makeup. And I'm not going to tell you which.
Wait a minute. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Secrets come out.
Oh, you know.
Talking dicks.
Even Boston puts that black stuff under his eye.
Oh, yeah. I met Boston Johnny Peasy. I met in Vegas with Richie. You guys were together somewhere. And I was at the Tropicana, and we met up. I think maybe you were working, could have been the Riv. Would you and Peasy have been working the Riv? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because Johnny
Yeah.
would work the Riv. That's right. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, went with hooked up with Rob Sherwood, our old buddy Rob, and then
Time is running out.
Time's running out.
Hold on. We got 5 minutes. We're good.
All right.
So
okay.
Let me tell a good Eddie Murphy story.
Yeah, man.
All right, Eddie Murphy's father passed away. Her mother married another man who kind of raised Eddie for a while. I'm not sure of his last name, but it might have been Zimmerman or something like that. But I would call Eddie every so often. I go, hello, and he go, hello, Mr. Murphy. My name is not Mr. Murphy. My name is Mr. Zimmerman. I said, I'm sorry, Mr. Zimmerman. I'm looking for Eddie. Yeah. And then I would forget. 3 months later, I call, need an act. Hello, Mr. Murphy. My name is not Mr. Murphy, Mr. Zimmerman. So now it's going on. Now I'm doing it on purpose. I would call him once a month. Now Eddie's got a little notoriety. I get all the comedians in the room. We're drinking. I go, watch this. Eddie's famous now. He's got his movie coming out. Hello, Mr. Murphy. Yes.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
That's great.
Good story, man. Good story.
Yeah.
So let's plug some of your dates. Where are you going to be? You're performing at a lot of live shows lately. Good for you, Richie.
Yeah.
Come here, Richie. Over.
It's going to be
You're on the road.
the River View Theater in
Vero Beach. That's Vero.
Then the Sunrise Theater in Fort Pierce. Sunrise Theater, Fort Pierce, Vero Beach, and with Christy McHugh, we got a 2-person show called "The Dick and the Vagina."
It's not called. Is it?
No,
He said.
She said.
He said. She said. Yep. Mm-hmm.
She said. He said. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
And now we have a new catchphrase. I don't know if this is where the war is over, but the battle goes on.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah, I would just stick with he said, she said.
I think I'll stay with that. Okay, that sounds good.
And will you be wearing the red jacket?
That's the question we all want to know.
And that jacket hasn't fit in 3 years.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't know if those gigs are red jacket worthy, to be honest.
Yeah, they might mistaken you for a waiter. Yeah,
they're not. They're not red jacket.
Like Chario.
I've done them.
Like Chario from Dangerfields. He had the red jacket. The late Chario.
Oh, wasn't he? He did. Yes.
That's right. That's right.
So,
all right.
Al, you weren't in that. We had 70 Long Island, New York City comedians in that movie that Bob Woods and Dave Hawthorne starred in called.
That was before my time.
Was that the cop?
I remember the poster.
Was that the cop star?
I remember there was a poster of it, but in the green room at the Governor's and other clubs. I don't know. I don't remember the.
So yeah, but it was in the real
it.
movie theater, and Bob Nelson wants to pay for everybody, and he buys this big old limousine. Marling's in the car, Meyer's in the car, I'm in the car, and we go to the theater. We can't believe we're at the Colmac 12-plex, and Nelson goes up to the ticket booth. He comes back and goes, look, you got to buy the ticket. I said, well, you got the limousine. I'll buy the tickets. He goes, no. I'll give you the money. The guy told me everyone's asking for their money back. So here's the money. Just demand. So I go, hey, listen, my friends are all in this movie. Here's the money. I want 12 tickets for this movie. Rider PI.
Rider PI.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we go in there, Al. Everybody is laughing at all the right spots. The crowd is going crazy. We can't believe it. I'm sitting next to Nelson. I go, I know what this guy's talking about. This movie's great. Hour and 42 minutes worth of greatness. Big round of applause at the end. People are hooting and hollering. The lights go on. There's about 190 people in the theater. 120 of them were in the movie in some capacity. And then their girlfriends and friends.
Sure.
And So I went back again like a week later, and people were asking for their money. And it lasted about, I think, 5 days, 6 days in the theater.
Yeah, I never saw it. I just remember it as a poster.
At
it was in
Governor's.
some of the green rooms on Long Island, and it featured every comic at that time, I guess, working got a part in it. Roughly.
One guy got paid. Howard Stern got paid $500 for about 5 hours worth of work. And I'm telling you, I thought they dressed him up as a nerd because he is such a cool looking guy with his hair and his black. But that was the way he dressed in khaki pants, yellow shirt, and a tie with the hair combed over this way with big ugly glasses. But that was who he was.
Well, that's like that's like Dice Clay, right? The Dice Clay character was a character from his act, but he was like a preppy guy, wasn't he? Or is that a rumor?
Right. Jerry Lewis impression, and he would do the.
But he was a little bit more. He was conservative, more conservative. He wasn't Dice.
He looked like a guy going to a biology class.
Wow. Okay. We should wrap it.
We're gonna wrap it up
before we get cut off here. And,
okay,
Richie, thanks.
I would wrap it after that Eddie Murphy story myself.
Oh yeah. I would. I agree.
All right, you're editing. I'm going to send you the files. You can edit.
2 dicks are all right. I don't know how to edit. Thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Rich.
Thanks,
Great
Richie.
seeing you, as
Great
always.
stories, funny stuff.
Man.
Captain Crunch, how was your weekend?
Cappy, top of the morning to you.
Ramos! Ducharme!
It's Romas.
It's Ducharme.
Subscribe. Mary.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money.